So if, like me, you can't stand a queue, you are in luck because there's a new guidebook, would you believe, is being released with tips on how to queue. And yes, it's quite interesting, actually. One of the things is stand in the queue that has the most men in it because they are less patient and they'll give up much than a woman. And I thought that's a very good tip, isn't it?
It's such a good feeling when someone drops out of you in front of a queue and it's like, oh, yes.
But it's that weird thing, isn't it? It's like you look at the queue and you go, right, that looks the shortest, but is it going to move quickest? And you're looking who's got the most shopping.
Yeah.
It's quite an art form, isn't it?
Yeah,
really?
or when they're chatting and you go, enough of the chat.
Yeah.
We're all queuing.
And then you get in the queue that's the shortest, and then someone's paying in pennies.
Yeah,
from a jar.
that's normally
yeah.
Ray.
And are you a
He
good
pays in
queue?
pennies.
Does it? Oh, is that
Yeah.
Ray? I'm
Yeah,
not standing behind him. Are you a good queuer? Do you like
I'm
a queue?
very British when it comes to queuing. I queue up very, very patiently. And I think we're very good at it over here, but I think we're probably one of the only countries that are. Yeah. Because the one thing I can't stand is when you have been queuing for 20 minutes and somebody like me in that VT pushes in front of you. There's nothing worse.
Do you say something?
Oh, boy, do I. Boy, do I.
In America all the time.
Yeah. And Italy and France, they don't have the respect for the queue in Italy or France. It's just like every man for himself, and I get so agitated.
What do you say then?
I go, excuse me, there's a queue.
Yeah.
Very, functional.
And do you look around for other people to join in? Because I do that. I go, excuse me, there's a queue. I think you'll find there's a queue, and then I get a bit scared and go, oh. And I look at everyone, isn't there? There was a queue.
It's very British,
looking for people to help me.
Don't you? You see people sort of going...
Yes.
But nobody
They
actually
don't
says
say
anything. So, no, I get really... And my kids get so embarrassed, which obviously is even more reason to do it. They go, Mum, it doesn't matter.
Oh, but it does matter. And I think it's, there is etiquette in a queue, isn't there? I just can't stand
I think so.
But do you do that thing of, I'm so bored, this queue's taking forever, but you still stay?
Yes, because I've
I never get fed up and think, I know if I leave, that queue's going to fly through.
Because it's bitter experience, isn't it? I've queue swapped, I'm standing, and I think that one over there's going much faster.
Yes.
And you're like that, go, shall I? And you go, oh, I'm going to go for it. And then just as you do, someone with a big full trolley just gets in front of you. And then you can't get back in.
You've got one eye on the queue and one eye on the tills, and you're kind of jumping from line to line.
That's why it's always good when you've got a big family. You just position your kids in each... You stand there,
I've done that.
Yeah, it's great. And you have a little bit of a competition going as well. I love there's some tips that here from viewers. Kathy, no, I didn't know this. My tip is to always join the longest queue because the sensors then go off on the ceiling and they have to open the nearest checkout.
Oh, that's the other thing, isn't it?
Know about that.
That's the other thing when you see somebody coming to open the checkout, like who's going to run first?
Yeah.
That's sort of thing, isn't it? You're all like that, like they're coming, they're opening. Should I let the person in front of me go to that one first? No.
Jostle. And Shirley, my top tip would be never stand behind me in a queue because I always pick the wrong one.